straight up, I do. I think she's racist. I think she's racist. I think she does not like black people. And I'm going to be quite honest, she did not like Garcelle at all. And then especially when Garcelle got in her business, she was like, this little black bitch thinks she knows everything. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Bravo, We're Black. Guys, I have it.
You have it.
I have it.
Are you guys surprised that Aaron not only came back for you guys, but did the intro? Like,
yeah.
How iconic.
Yeah, it feels good. I definitely
because I feel like you have a lot to say, so it only makes sense that you do the intro, babes.
I do have a lot to say. This week has been crazy. Between Married to Medicine, Beverly Hills was really good too. I wanted to shout out to Beverly Hills. You know, some of the Potomac stuff that's been coming out. Wendy telling Karen that her wig slides. It's just a lot has been going on, but especially the biggest thing is Married to Medicine. Married to Medicine is the biggest thing.
Like, I don't want this season to end. I'm sorry.
I don't want it to end necessarily, but I just feel like it's getting to a point where it's too much.
Like, we're not used to that for Married to Medicine.
It's getting to a point where it's just too much, and I'm seeing why Phaedra left. It's really showing me why she left. Because I thought it was just going to be one of those things where they just pissed her off a little bit, and then she just was like, I'm going to go. But it's not the case. Like, they are really trying her every episode, each episode, specifically Heavenly. I am usually a fan of Heavenly, and y'all know that.
Yeah, you are.
But this season, I have not been.
You woke up?
I woke up. I'm not a fan.
Okay, so let's just get into the latest episode of Married to Medicine, because that's the most pertinent thing on our timeline here. Obviously, they're on this vacation. We had a little not even a disagreement, just like a little conflict in between Quad and her man King and Greg and Sweet Tea. This carries on into the second day, but not only is it Quad, King, Greg, and Sweet Tea, we also have Phaedra, her new man, and Apollo and his on-again, off-again wife in the mix. And it is just a damn mess.
When you said Apollo's name, I just thought of Apollo Nida, like from Housewives of Atlanta days. I just did not see the point in this trip, period. I didn't see the point in this trip at all, honestly. Because what was the point? It's been really messy.
I think it was just like a couple's trip, as usual. Mm-hmm. I just didn't see the point of inviting Apollo, even if he was coming by himself. Because the whole thing is like, oh my God, he brought his wife. But even if Apollo was just coming as Apollo, Phaedra is there. They're not together. Even if Phaedra didn't bring her new boyfriend, what did you think of inviting Apollo was going to do?
That's my question. Heavenly's goal originally was to show them how to, I guess, coexist and have a healthy relationship after getting a divorce, after separating. And I don't know if this example was supposed to be for, I'm guessing it was supposed to be for Quad and Dr. Gregory, but I just feel like too soon. That's another thing that I feel. And I'm in a situation now where I don't have a problem with Sweet Tea. Like, I still don't. After this episode, I don't have a problem with Sweet Tea. I feel like she's...
Sweet Tea wasn't the problem. Like, these past few episodes. It's mainly been Heavenly. I will also say Toya egged it on, because she's the one who's talking about how uncomfortable it is when it's like, girl, it's not your place to say that. And then Greg for like just going off. And then I will say King, this new episode when he's like, okay, well now you have to apologize. I'm like, I get it, but like just let it go at a certain point because Quad already let it go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a very weird situation. But I do feel like Shereé, whatever the
Shereé.
fuck. Yeah, okay, whatever the fuck Apollo's wife's name is, she can definitely shut up. Who cares? Okay, if that's y'all's friend, that's y'all's friend. You should be more concerned of why Apollo is so upset that your friend is dating Phaedra when he's supposedly married to you. Like, why is that bothering him so much?
That was my thing too. I just did not understand that because I'm like, do we need to go back to Atlanta and rehash all the stuff that he did with Kenya? Because that's what I was really thinking the whole time. I'm like, you have no room to talk because we went through a whole saga, and while you were married, this was not while you were separated. This was not while, like, after you guys divorced. This was while you were married, and there were a lot of accusations thrown around. And we still don't know to this day what happened. I mean, we only know he say, she say type of stuff. But I feel like after a point like that, like, I just don't understand why this is even an issue. And why he's even upset. It's giving he still has feelings for her.
Exactly.
That's what it's giving to me.
And it's weird because he was, like, the dude was forthcoming with Phaedra, like, I know your ex, but maybe he told Apollo that he went on speed dating and he was on speed dating with, I guess, Phaedra's ex, but I guess he didn't tell Apollo how close they actually had gotten. But I don't know if he even expected to, because I didn't expect Phaedra to bring anyone on the trip, so I don't even know if he expected to be on the trip.
Maybe not. Maybe it was a last minute thing. I honestly think once Heavenly had called Phaedra up and was like, I'm going to invite Apollo, she was probably like, come on the trip. I think that's what it was. She was just like, come on the trip. And I don't think she... Well, no. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think she had intent, like some kind of intent. I don't know what that intent was. I don't know if it was to make Apollo jealous or if it was just to make Apollo jealous. But I do feel like there was intent behind bringing this particular guy, because out of all the guys in Atlanta, you bring somebody that's friends with your ex. But that's a whole nother story.
Very weird. But I feel like that's at least her place to bring whoever it is to the trip, because Apollo them isn't on the cast. So it was just weird to see what was going on. So while we're talking about Apollo and Shereé, which is crazy, Shereé filed for divorce literally on February 7th, saying that their marriage is irretrievably broken. She said that Apollo subjected her to cruel treatment, adultery, and desertion. She said that Apollo cheated on her regularly. The respondent has had sexual intercourse with someone else during our marriage. The respondent has committed adultery multiple times throughout our relationship. Respondent refused to seek counseling or therapy to address these issues. She also requested a protective order. She expressed fear or further violence or harassment from Apollo. Mind you, in March of last year, so almost exactly a year ago, Apollo was arrested and charged with domestic violence and simple battery assault after an alleged altercation with Shereé. So it's just ironic how, like, they're coming on this trip trying to pretend that they're like a united front when in reality it's like, y'all are barely married itself. And Apollo accused her of going on dates with other dudes. So it's just like, what is really going on?
You know, I don't know what they got going on in their household. I remember that one time that police were called to that particular household. Now, if this was something that's going on and has been going on for some time, I do wonder why she felt. I don't know. Was that prior to the trip that they show? Was all of this? I'm not. I'm not 100% certain. But I'm like, if all of this was happening, I definitely wouldn't want to go on a trip with that person.
The arrest from 2024 was March 2024, so this was like a couple of months before. There was a couple of months before filming, and then this filing for divorce came this year. So it's very clear that they've been rocky this whole time, which is so odd because she came on Real Housewives of Atlanta as the side chick.
She did. She really did. I just don't understand what she was thinking with that whole thing. I am happy that she is getting a divorce because I do not agree with violence. Like, I don't think that somebody should obviously be putting their hands on you or putting you in a situation where you feel like threatened. You know, I don't want that for her. I don't like her, but I don't want that for her. So I mean, I'm glad that she's doing what she needs to do. The only thing is, I just don't want to see them on Married to Medicine again.
It didn't make sense for them to be on there anyway. Like, I understand that what Dr. Heavenly was doing, she was trying to be messy at the end of the day because she feels that Phaedra is not sharing her real life, but she feels that Apollo is her real life. But I don't feel like Phaedra is necessarily concerned with Apollo and whoever he's dating because Apollo is not the catch. He's not the win. He's not anything. So it was just more of, you know, like a weird situation that she put her in. And now I want to ask you, Heavenly said that she didn't know that Shereé was coming because she knew that Apollo was coming. Apollo said that it was just going to be him. But do you think that Dr. Heavenly knew that Shereé was going to come?
Now that I don't think I don't think she knew. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt with that. I don't think she knew. I think she expected Apollo to come. And I think her whole plan was just to maybe upset Apollo and get him riled up with knowing that the other guy was going to be there. I think that was her intent, but I don't think that she knew Shereé was going to come. But I think once she seen that Shereé came, she was really happy. Because she's like, oh, it's going to be even heavier and a lot bigger than what it was. And I do think that Phaedra handled herself pretty well because it's like, what did they want her to do in that situation? And also, my whole thing is this. Phaedra is a part of this group. No, she hasn't necessarily been saying all the right things, and they haven't been in a good place, I'd say, like her and the other ladies. But I do feel like there is a certain respect that you should have for her being your castmate. And so for you to invite somebody else on the show and just have them kind of come in and like shake the table and disrespect Phaedra and just lay in your little, what do they call those shits in the pool, and just look at her being, and just look at her being disrespected. I didn't think that was cool at all. So it definitely showed me a lot about them. It showed me a lot about them, and they are those type of bitches. I'll say it. They are those type of bitches.
Well, Phaedra also reiterated her point. Like, this is what I meant. These types of bitches.
These types of bitches. And she was right. That is her perspective. That's her point of view. And she has a right to feel that way. So whenever people are like trying to, I guess, get on her for not showing up at the reunion. Because I also wanted her to show up at the reunion. And like give them something, like really read each and every one of them. But she didn't do that, and you know, she has her reasonings behind it. Maybe she feels like she's back in Atlanta.
Yeah, we were on Kim Pyre's podcast recently. You guys go and check that out on Kim Pyre's YouTube channel. But what I was saying is that I was not surprised that she didn't show up. I didn't expect her to show up. I didn't think she was going to show up. And I think it's because of how things ended. If you walk off of a show and you're onto another show, then you don't owe loyalty to that other show that you walked off of, because
Correct.
you know that they needed you on Real Housewives of Atlanta so you could slide. Usually when you skip a reunion, that means that you're in trouble. But she's not necessarily in trouble because they needed her on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then on top of that, it's like, what are they going to do at the reunion? Just rehash what happened on the beach, rehash about the guy that she's likely not dating, and rehash, or maybe even bring Apollo and Shereé out. Like, is that something that she wants to sit through? No, that's not something that she wants to sit through. Do I think that she may have, like, she should have came to the reunion? Sure, but I understand, and I did not expect her to, considering what it's not just this trip, but I knew ever since they started talking behind her back about the Met Gala, she's like, yeah, she mentally checked out then.
And I agree. And why show loyalty to a group of people who clearly aren't loyal to you? Because they allowed Shereé to go, and they were entertaining it as well, as if Shereé has been in this group this whole time, as if Shereé was in the cast photo.
Why did she even feel like she could speak up and be like, he'd be at our house for Thanksgiving? Like, okay, and what the fuck does that? You should be happy because now Apollo can't, like, worry about what Phaedra got going on because she's actually busy with another man, and Apollo is forced to move on, but apparently he can't, as we see by these divorce filings.
And I also think that you brought up a great point. I'm kind of excited, and maybe that's why she didn't show up, because it's like, what are we going to talk about at this reunion? So I think it's kind of like a statement, because she was such a, I'm not going to say a big, well, she played her part just as much as everybody else this season.
I think all the work is all the heavy lifting is gonna be on Quad and
Sweet
Tea. But then, of course, they're gonna address what happened with Phaedra and Apollo.
Oh, Phaedra and Apollo. I mean, they will, but Phaedra won't be there to speak on it, so they'll just be talking about
so they can
themselves.
only say so much about it.
Mm-hmm. So, let's see how it goes. And as far as the Dr. G thing, I'm not a Dr. G fan by far, but I will say this: I do think that is crazy that you would expect somebody to. He's just saying something very simple, and I didn't think it was like anything out of the way. He's just like, well, if she speaks on me, and if she comes at me, then I'm gonna come at her. They have a history. They were once together. So he feels like he has that right, which is understandable. He feels like they have that, at least enough history to do that together if that were to happen. So for you to say, like, oh, well, if Quad comes at you, then you address me, I think it's crazy.
I understand you might think that's crazy, but I don't, because if we are keeping it a buck, last season Greg was up, last season and this season, but last season when Quad didn't have a man, Greg kept her name in his mouth, and now this season that she got a man, it's like, address the man, go man to man, instead of always talking about Quad or talking to Quad. So I liked it, but I don't like the physical part of it all. And I don't like, I just don't like that it's just put Sweet Tea in such an awkward position, because you could see her trying not to really start anything. Now, when Sweet Tea goes off, I understand when Sweet Tea goes off, because, like, they're talking about, she's essentially talking about, look, I'll plan your baby shower, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. She's like throwing little shade at her, and I expect Sweet Tea to say something back. But I don't expect a grown man to be arguing with Quad when her man is right there, because when they say something to Sweet Tea, he's the one who defends Sweet Tea. It's just like, keep that same energy. Yeah, I feel like Greg wants, like, Sweet Tea to calm down, and he's walking around huffing and puffing. When it's like, why are you so mad? She should be the one who is upset, and she stopped when he tells her to stop. She stops, even though the other
Couldn't be
ladies
me.
keep on going. So it's weird. It's just very Dr. G is just very weird to me.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that as well. As I said before, I don't really care for him at all. I don't like his antics and the way he is, but I do feel like there is a big issue there between him and Quad, clearly. And I think that's honestly something that they should work out amongst themselves, because there is a lot that he hasn't healed from, and there's a lot that she hasn't healed from, clearly. And
Yeah,
once you
you're
start
right.
bringing those elements into your new relationship, it presents a problem, because now King feels like he has to constantly defend you. And that's not how it should be in a relationship. Like, over stuff like this.
Especially like with your ex.
Yeah.
But it's just gonna be hard. I think it's just gonna be hard to be in the same group with an
Correct.
ex that you left off like that with, though, because you gotta
Yeah.
understand that Quad and Dr. G, like, she's like, you pinned me to the floor. Like, it's just a very volatile ending that they had. So I think that they both need to just kind of just say it's square and move on. But it's also like you have the other people in the group kind of egging you on,
Yeah.
and
I
that
agree with
makes it
that.
even
Toya.
harder. Like, you're right, like they have issues, but when it also comes to the group also likes to egg it on,
Mm-hmm.
and it just makes it just like this impossible situation. And I'm like, well, now you guys need to start getting your own storylines then, because this is getting fucking old.
I agree. And I think that's what they need to do anyway, because people have been too comfortable sipping on Capri Suns and shit and just sitting back. And Heavenly playing puppet is not the thing that she thinks it is, and it's getting old. I will say that. It's only so long that you can do that and try to create situations or complicate other people's lives and just sit back and watch on TV. Like, you have to put yourself out there as well, especially if they expected Phaedra to do that. I think that needs to be a conversation. That honestly needs to be the last question at the Married to Medicine reunion. What is your storyline going to be for next year? And do you know that you have to have one?
Exactly.
So that's that. And yeah,
Any
that's
other Married to Medicine thoughts?
no, that's it. That just made me mad real bad. Cause I love me some Phaedra, and I can admit when she's wrong, I can say okay, she's wrong. But in this situation, I just felt like
She
it
wasn't.
just seemed like she was Shereé. That's the perfect way of saying it. Like, she just randomly came on the show for like an episode, and they were just like, oh, she's been here this whole time. Like, no loyalty, no. Where's the sisterhood? Because I don't feel like this is sisterhood.
I feel like I don't know. Like, I feel like if Quad was doing this, I would understand, because Phaedra tried to get Quad kicked off allegedly behind the scenes, not so allegedly. But it's not Quad that's really pushing up the antics. It's the other ladies. It's Heavenly.
It's
Toya.
Heavenly, and I'll tell you why. Heavenly feels like she has something to prove to Quad. That's what it gives me every single
Ooh.
time she does shit like this. It's like she feels like, I guess because she did not show up for Quad last season, and none of them showed up for Quad, it's like this season they're trying to do it in a way that's not healthy. Because at
That's
this
a
point, you're
fair.
just jumping for something just to show her, like, oh, we got your back this time. And it's like, come on now. You don't have to
But it's
do it
also
naturally.
odd because it doesn't seem like Quad's whole like Quad is aimed at Phaedra this season. It's just weird. Like you said, I agree. Like, that's a good theory. Like, they're trying to.
Because
Heavenly is trying to show that
Quad
she
doesn't
has
have to do
Quad.
anything. They're all
Okay,
doing it. They're all doing it. She could
that's a
just
great
sit
point.
on the floaty and watch them do it.
Yeah, yeah. But at least Quad is putting like her time in.
Yeah.
The rest, I can't say that they are, because I honestly, this whole Apollo stuff really started with Toya. If you want to keep it a buck, because earlier this season they had a whole weird thing with
That
Toya.
was one thing, but Heavenly was the one that brought that home, because
Yeah.
Toya didn't invite them on the trip. She just was a little nosy, and that's okay. Like, I didn't mind that. But once you start inviting these people on the trip, it's like, oh, you really, it's fuck Phaedra for real. Like, you guys really just do not like her. And I guess because she called them out and she put, and I think Dr. Jackie is going along with it because she already knows what was going to happen. You knew you were going to get that lashing because you knew why you did that Med Gala.
Yeah, sure do. I'm glad that we finally discussed it. Did you see the Potomac reunion?
I've seen bits and pieces of the end. I did see Mia get emotional about her split with Ink. I did see some of the Stacy drama as well, which is why I'm like,
I feel like you need to go back and like really watch the finale to get the reunion. I will say that this reunion was one, like, it was a really good reunion. Like, the season, meh. The reunion, this, especially for it being part one, was good as hell. Especially the uncensored part. Like, it's really good.
I do also feel like it is, just because this is the most that I've seen about it. Like, I've never seen this many clips being shown of Potomac. So I'm like, it must be really, really good.
Yeah, so you got to go back and watch that. But I know you saw Beverly Hills.
I sure did.
Now what do you think about that, child?
I sure did, child.
Can we go back a little bit with Beverly Hills and
to Sutton's mom?
What do we think about Sutton's mom? Exactly.
Okay.
No, that's exactly what I was saying. Can we go back an episode?
I don't want to use that word. I don't want to use that word. And I think you guys already know what word I'm getting at. But I do think that I have to be very careful with this. But I do think that they have a lot of issues. I'll just talk about that part. Sutton and her mom have a lot of issues, a lot going on, a lot unresolved. And I do wonder why her mom is so hard on her, it seems. And it could be because her, I think it's a cycle. Usually when that happens, maybe it was how she was treated by her parents. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe her life at that time was very hard. So she associates Sutton with that difficult time. It could also be that as well. But I do think it's sad. I do think that it's very sad.
Yeah, I think that she's kind of jealous of the relationship that Sutton had with her father. Whereas, like, she had to get always the worst of Sutton's father because he had his issues. And Sutton was a daddy's girl in every sense of the word. And even though he, unfortunately, trigger warning, took his life, they still had somewhat of a good relationship that she did not have with her own husband. So there might be a bit of jealousy there. I think the most surprising thing of the entire trip was finding out that she was a therapist, because I'm like, well, damn, how many people did you fuck up in Georgia if you act like this?
Quite a lot. And I'm probably talking to him every day and don't even know it. But 70, it's my thing with her though is it's been 75 years. It's been about 75 years since all of that has took place. Like, when are you going to make amends with your daughter?
75 years.
It's been about 75 years since all of that has taken place.
75 years.
75 years. When are you going to say, okay, let's just drop it and let's have a relationship together? Y'all not getting no younger. Y'all are both.
Especially if it's already been 75 years according to you.
Yeah, she's not getting no younger, and you can tell, like, right now, she just wants to be at peace. She just wants to sit in that backyard
On her porch.
on her porch and order things around and have things the way she wants to do, and she wants to make her green beans and shit. She does not want to deal with all of this. I think she needs to improve her relationship with her daughter seriously. And
Yeah.
not just saying I love you once a year. I think that shit was crazy. I'm like, girl, that's your child. Like, be
I
a
do
mother.
I do know that like a lot of people don't necessarily say I love you a lot, cuz I can't necessarily say that my family, like, we say that we love each other. We more just show each other, or we'll do something for each other, or like we make sure that we show up for holidays and stuff like that. But like just saying I love you is definitely something that is a little bit more like, not, we don't do that in our family like that. Now, when I say I love you, I say it mostly to my friends. Like, before I hang up the phone, I say I love you to my friends like consistently, and they're the ones who really like showed me to like express your love like that. But when it comes to my family, we don't say I love you, we just show it in our actions. But it seems that even in her actions, she doesn't really say that she loves Sutton, because you see that Sutton is looking for that validation by showing her, hey,
Correct.
I worked on this very hard. Can you, tell me what you think about it? Look at this and all this stuff. And her mom is just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, what now? Even with the boutique,
Yeah.
she was like, oh, this little hot shit, I guess.
Cool.
Cool.
What do we think about how she treated Garcelle and Avi? It's not just Garcelle; it's also Avi. So it was the way that she treated Avi. That's his name, right? Yeah, like her assistant. The way she treated Sutton's assistant definitely solidified what I thought. But I want to get your thoughts first.
So you
What did
think
you
that
think about her
she's
treatment
you
of
think that she's
Garcelle?
racist?
I wanted to ask you, do you think? That's why I said, what did you think
Not
about
you
the
trying to put
treatment?
me on the spot.
I just want to
Okay,
know
straight
what
up,
you
I
thought
do.
about it.
Straight up, I do. I think she's racist. I think she's racist. I think she does not like black people. And I'm going to be quite honest, she did not like Garcelle at all. And then especially when Garcelle got in her business, she was like, this little black bitch thinks she knows everything.
She
That
did.
woke her ass up. And as a therapist, with a house like that, like, there's no way that she's going to let some black lady just come in her house and tell her what's going on in her with her relationship with her daughter from 75 years ago. She's just not going to let it happen. And I did get those vibes immediately. I didn't even have to see the episode. And I did see the episode, but just from the clips, like the clips prior, I was like, I already know what this is going to be.
I think
already know what it's going to be.
it started off when she was talking to Garcelle, and then Kyle comes, and then she calls Kyle pretty, and I'm just like, okay, that's fair. I mean, we have
Interesting.
subjective
And
terms
I'm not going to
of
say
pretty. I'm
that
not calling Kyle
Kyle
ugly. I'm not
ugly. You know, she's ugly, but I'm like,
like, it was just like a noted.
where's the
But
standard?
then
That's what I want to know. That's that, and I'm not even gonna be. I'm not even trying to be rude, because I do think that Kyle is pretty. But I'm like,
yes,
what is the standard? Like, in what world is Kyle pretty and Garcelle? Yeah, and Garcelle is not. Like, let's just stop. You know, at a certain point, we have to really analyze what that standard
well,
is.
I let that slide. I was like, okay, maybe she just, whatever. Maybe she just looked pretty to her. But then we got into, obviously, just the way that she was talking to Garcelle, the way
What
that
about
she
the
told Garcelle.
gift?
Oh,
Let's
yes.
talk about the gift.
Yes.
She got her the gifts, and she still was just like, oh, all right. And
Yes.
true, okay. So in her defense, I will say with that gift, I was just like, okay, like I wouldn't have known what to do with that myself. Like, this is like a woman of a certain age. What is she gonna do with this?
Yeah, and like when you get a certain age, you're just straight up about things. Like this
Yeah.
don't move me at all.
Because my grandma is
But
the same way. You got the receipt. Like, she doesn't even. That's why I just get her gift cards now, because she's very quick to be like, Aaron, I really appreciate you have that receipt for that thing that you got me a few weeks ago.
no, yeah, like once
Yeah.
once you get a certain age, you just don't fuck around. Like I don't want this shit, and I get it. Like, but that I completely forgot about that. It was just the way that she spoke to her. It was the way that she told her that it was none of her business. I'm like, okay, well, it is none of her business, true, but it's just I don't like to watch your tone. And then it was also when Sutton's assistant tried to, I don't know, just like ask her about things. I'm like, not only are you racist, but
Oh, you think she's.
you don't like the girls either.
See, I didn't even
She
pick up. I didn't
she
even pick
couldn't
that.
stand him. Like she could not stand him. She's like, not only did you bring this colored girl, but you also brought. It's crazy. And then when at the end they're like, we'll keep in contact with each other, and she's like, I will keep in contact with some of you. But Garcelle
Yeah.
knows how to handle that because she's been in the
She
industry
handled
a
it
while.
very well.
Yeah, and that's her friend's mom. And she, like, you're in the South, so you understand how Southern old white women some can be. So,
And I gotta give it to Sutton for putting her mom on display for the world to see, because it's something that you can kind of pick up. Like, and it's really awkward too. It's really uncomfortable.
Or maybe that was the point.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to get into all of that now. Now she has intentions behind it.
I'm just saying, like, if
you think that she wanted her friends to be treated like you think that she wanted Garcelle to be treated?
No, I don't think that she wanted Garcelle to be treated that way, but maybe she wanted to expose her mama for how she acts.
Maybe that was the case, but I don't think that's going to help you build a relationship with her either. Because one thing about this lady, she is a therapist, and some therapists feel like since they're therapists, they don't need to see a therapist. And I think
when it's like they need to see the head
she
therapist.
Needs a therapist, and she needs one of those classes that got taken away from the
DEI classes.
Yes.
Send Sutton's mom for DEI training.
That's what she needs. But yeah, I definitely do hope that they're able to repair their relationship, because I do want that for Sutton, because she's been a handful this season, to say the least.
Let's get into that. What do you think about this whole thing at Dorit's house where she's just like...
I agree with Bose. That's why me and Bose see each other this season, because it's like I do, and I also agree with Garcelle too, to a certain extent. I'm like, I do think that Bose is Dorit's mouthpiece a lot of the times, but I also think that she is Sutton's mouthpiece a lot of the time. So it's kind of like fair game, and I just don't understand why, and I was also Team Erica. Why is Bose being called out for doing the same thing that Garcelle does? Like...
Yeah, I understand that.
With Sutton. So I thought that was a little bit weird, but I think that they do tend to coddle Sutton a lot. Like, you cannot come in somebody's house and then call them a bitch, and Dorit was right, like, and then expect the day to move along. Like, it's not going to happen like that. And then you guys are calling my drinks nasty. That's the shit that really got me. Like, not only do you abandon me and leave me on my patio after this woman just called me a bitch and you chase after her, but then once you chase after her, you sit in my foyer and you call my drinks nasty? Get the fuck out. I would have literally got a broom and swept them out of the house. Get out.
Oh my God. What do you think about the Kyle and Dorit of it all? Like they were on one end, they're just like arguing, but then on the other end, they're having like this moment between them where they kind of like see each other, and I'm just like,
I think they can repair their relationship, but honestly, I'm just confused about what their relationship is. So that's why I think when I see it, I'm like, okay, I guess if you guys insist and really want to do this, I don't really care though. You guys don't have to be friends. I think it's actually interesting if they weren't. I think it would be more interesting. I don't want to see them as friends. Maybe that's the villain in me. I don't want to see
I
them
think
as
I
friends.
love seeing the the deterioration of the Fox Force 5. Like I love seeing that it's no longer
I like the
a
divide
thing.
too.
Stand on your own. Yeah.
It's kind of
I
like
like
where
that.
we get 2 episodes of Beverly Hills in one because we
Mm-hmm.
see Dorit and Erica and who else would be a part of that group? Not really anybody else. I get to see Dorit and Erica, and I do enjoy that.
Well,
And
we
then
have Dorit and Erica. We have Kyle, Garcelle, and Sutton. But then we also have
Dorit,
Jennifer
Erica, and
Tilly
Bose.
and
I
Bose.
guess
Yeah.
that would be like their little clique, and I like that.
Yes.
I
Dorit,
like
Erica,
seeing
and
that.
Bose for sure. I like when they go to lunch and stuff. Like it's
Yes.
like the fashion girlies, and then we have Kyle, Garcelle, and Sutton, and then we have people who aren't invested in either. So we have Kathy and Jennifer Tilly.
I said this before. I want Jennifer Tilly off this show, and I mean that. I want her off this show. I don't want it. Like I feel like they keep trying to give it to me. Like it's like that annoying pop up that you can't close. Like I don't want this. Get this off. Try something else. Like I also don't feel like they need anybody else.
Yeah.
Like it's enough. They have enough. 6 people is
But
enough.
I will say that I do enjoy seeing Kathy because she's kind of just like low stakes, not really knowing what's going on. And
I don't want to say too much about that because I feel like you know how they go for her. So they go up for her. They don't want you to say nothing bad about Kathy. But in my opinion, that little riddle shit that she does is getting old. Like that little clueless shit, and when she
like,
says names wrong, yeah, like you're not. Come on now, stop. You know what you're doing, like, and I feel like she does that every time they have like a little dinner or something, and the cameras are close up, and then she looks directly at the camera after she does it, and it's like, girl.
Or she'll be in confessionals and she'll say like a saying wrong on purpose. She's like, "Oh, the elephant is purple," or what is
like it? You're not. Stop that, okay? Because at first it was cute, but after a while it's just like
I enjoy it.
So
because it's just like she's just rich, so who really gives a fuck? And she doesn't have any loyalty. She doesn't have any loyalty to Kyle. I'm sorry, like she'll be.
I think people who appreciate riddles appreciate Kathy.
I don't appreciate riddles though.
You did like the Riddler. You did like the Riddler in Batman. You did like that.
He
so
did,
you like
he did the damn thing.
You do like riddles
on lock.
And I did enjoy his riddles because they were just like life or death situations. And that's what I appreciated.
And Batman would
and
be
he's like,
what
do you call a cow?
With 8 spots.
With 8 spots, you have 30 minutes to figure it out, or everybody will die. So TikTok. It puts you in such a panic because I'm like, what does that even mean? And I only have 30 minutes. Like, what?
Because even Batman is like, oh my god. It's under the city hall.
And I gotta give it to him because he figures it out every time. And I'm just like, everybody would have been dead if it was up to me because I'm like, I can't figure that shit out.
Yeah, because he'll do some shit and then Batman will figure it out. He's like, oh, rat backwards is tar. In Latin, tar means, oh my God, the bomb is under the city hall. Yeah. And I was like, how did you know?
Because me personally, I would have gave up on that shit like 5 minutes in.
Everyone evacuate the city and I'd be calling from somewhere else. Like, give me a 10-minute head start and I'll let you guys know what the deal is.
By the time I get where I'm going, it's going to be too late anyway. So, sorry guys.
So, have you been watching, before I let you go, anything else? Like, it doesn't have to be Bravo necessarily. Like, have you been enjoying anything? Have you seen movies that you really liked? Have you decided to go and rewatch something?
I did. Okay, so what is something that I've been watching? Because I feel like I have been seeing.
Because you tell the world why you don't fuck with Traitors.
Oh, Traitors! I just don't like this season, and I think it's the girl with the. I don't know. It's a lot going on with that. She was one of the traitors at the beginning.
Carolyn, the blonde one.
The black lady.
The black lady. Yeah, Danielle. Yeah.
I don't know. It's something about her. She just makes me feel very uneasy.
It was both of all of the traitors I hated this season.
Yeah, that's why I just didn't connect with anybody there, and
then they sent all the housewives home. Then they sent all like the cool reality stars home. Once they sent Nikki Bella home, that's when I really got pissed.
Yeah,
like that was it for me.
I figured that would be the moment that you're just like,
That's why I'm not even covering that shit. Really,
is Tom Sandoval still on?
Yeah,
he paid them.
And he's getting his redemption arc too. That's what I cannot stand because he's doing stupid shit. And he's
nobody's watching. Funny. Well, no, people are watching because I do hear them talking about it. I can't even lie about that. I was though. I was gonna lie, but lately I have been watching old episodes of Housewives of Atlanta. I started over from the beginning, so I've been watching that. And that's kind of why I have an even softer spot right now for Phaedra. Because I've seen what Atlanta was.
That's fair.
And I even have a new respect for Don Juan as well. Yeah. And I said that before, but seeing him in the earlier seasons, I really seen like, wow, he was here this whole time, like making shit happen.
Put some respect.
And I gotta give him that respect. And I also started White Lotus. I gotta finish the other half of the damn episode. I feel like I don't even... Like, as soon as I start, I have to cut that shit off. Like, that's just how I feel. Because I gotta get ready and I gotta do something. But
yeah, you get busy. But it is pretty good.
It has been. I will say, like, the first half was really, really good. And I do like this cast. At first, I wasn't too sure how I was gonna feel about the cast. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I could get with this. They're not bad.
Yeah, now that I see how they broke them up into groups, I can understand it.
I was meaning to ask you though, and this isn't out yet, but are you looking forward to Euphoria? Because that's what I really want to know.
Because you think that Jocelyn Hernandez is going to be on there?
That's one of the reasons. I'm not even gonna lie. But just because I feel like that little shot that they showed us of Rue, she looks like she's on it bad. And I'm like, yeah, that is what I want to see.
It just took so long that I'm just like not excited because we're not going to see it until next year.
It's like, I'm excited as ever. And then it's like, the thing is, I'm so invested that I don't care who does. Like, they're like, Storm Reed isn't coming back. The mom isn't coming back. Barbie isn't coming back. And I'm still like, let's go. Like, fuck everything. Why aren't they coming back? Were they killed? Let's talk about it. Did Rue get them killed? Is that why she's still on that shit bad?
I hear it's gonna be a time jump. So like some shit happened.
I heard Lynn Whitfield is also joining.
Did you really hear that, or are you just throwing that?
No, I really heard that. And I don't know if it's because of that trend. It's like I don't know if I can trust it, because there's a new trend going around where people are just like throwing it, especially on Twitter. It's like people are just throwing people and being like, this person will be coming to Euphoria. Yes. They said Freestyle Unity from the Parkers was coming to Euphoria. And I was like, that.
What happened was they announced like 5 different celebrities, including Marshawn Lynch, that were actually coming there, like the official people that were coming. And then people were like, this is so random. So then that's when it started, like, Jocelyn is coming, this person's coming, that person's coming. And then they, like, just make up instances in their head of what they're going to do on there.
Jocelyn, I believe, would be a great fit. And if Maddie is supposed to be working at this strip club, like how I heard she's supposed to be working at, Jocelyn is the perfect person for that.
The other trend that they're doing that I love is the reheating your nachos trend.
Oh, Shakira.
It's not just Shakira, it's like everyone.
Shakira's though.
Shakira's is the most prevalent. Scary. And then she literally went in the hospital, and I'm like, that's what happens when you reheat nachos.
Like, what is going on? Like, everything at her tour, I'm like, is this Renaissance? And then I just see Shakira come out, and it's like, no, this is Shakira.
I love Shakira, though.
I do too, but girl,
something should be different.
Something should be done, actually, about that.
Not a lawsuit.
No, I do believe Beyonce will be on top. Like, if there was a horse, Beyonce would definitely be like, okay. And the last thing is, do you believe that we're going to get that telephone part 2?
The thing is, they put her under the lie detector test, and she said that there is going to be telephone part 2. So I think that we're going to get it, but we're not going to get it as soon as we think we are with the Mayhem release. We might get it with whatever Act 3 is for Beyonce, which means like after she goes on tour, and then she decides to do Act 3.
I feel like this is the perfect time, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would like it yesterday.
Me too. I do believe that it's coming soon now.
I just have a feeling though.
Because they didn't make eye contact, if you noticed, at the was it the Grammys?
Well, she was right by her. Her and who else was holding hands? Yeah. Like when she got Album of the Year, like hoping that she would get Album of the Year, and then she was clapping hard as fuck. And I'm like, this is suspicious.
But like when they were by each other, she's like.
Like, don't give them too much.
Look away. She didn't even look at her, and I'm like, you guys are doing something.
Exactly. Well, it's great to have you here. You will be back soon, obviously, yes. But I'm just glad that we got to finally talk Married to Medicine, because that has been on everyone's mind. And Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because I needed to ask you about
Beverly Hills has been good as hell. Like, not even gonna lie. Like, I have been enjoying it. I think that Bose is an additional, a great addition to the show, and I really hope that she sticks around. And I honestly want to keep the cast. Like, the only person that I want to leave behind is Jennifer Tilly. That's it. I just want that to stop. Like,
anytime you get a chance to speak, you're like, Jennifer Tilly needs to go.
She has to go. Like, I like her, but TikTok, you gotta go.
They said that the cast hates her, but then someone was like, no, we don't.
Yeah, because I mean, they're not gonna, like, you know, but I do think they get kind of tired.
I would too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the expensive stuff that she brings, but it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, but after that leaves, like, what else is left? You know.
Nothing. I don't see anything left.
After the Triple Dipper is gone, what else is there?
Just the sauce. Yeah. Just the sauce. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips.
And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really do with that? Unless they bring you tortilla chips. And what can you really
which you've already used up the tortilla chips, so it'd be embarrassing to ask for more.
That's
all right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Wednesday episode. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Make sure that you go to patreon.com/Bravo While Black for some extra content. And also go to the Bravo While Black YouTube channel where I am recapping The White Lotus. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Is there anything that you want the people to do, Aaron?
Go do that.
That's 5 stars.
Go on Instagram and like that recent post. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. Where Kaya is doing the Cupid thing. Damn. And make sure you run that up, and make sure you guys comment on that. Subscribe to the Patreon, and let's get Jennifer Tilly off the show.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.